When you were a little kid, did you ever get really freaked out by space? Specifically, I'm talking about the first time you talked to a grown-up and they explained that there are planets and galaxies and such, and you asked them, well, if I just got in a spaceship and took off and just kept going, what would I eventually reach? Like if I arrived at the edge of the universe, what would I find there and what's on the other side of that? Because if there's some kind of a barrier or something stopping you, what's on the other side of the barrier? Or does the barrier itself just continue forever? Like, did you ever just lay awake at night trying to picture it? Like, what happens if you just keep going? And did you have a period later on in your life where you asked someone knowledgeable, like a high school teacher, and when they tried to explain the various theories of what's out there, you realized that none of them made any sense? Like they would start talking about the expansion of the universe, and when you tried to ask, well, what is it expanding into, they would start talking about the curvature of space and things like that. Like when I was in school, they compared the universe to a balloon that was being inflated, so it's always getting bigger, but all of us in the classroom said, okay, but when you're blowing up a balloon, it is expanding into the room, so what's the equivalent of the room? And if they said, well, it's expanding into nothing, you still couldn't picture it, because you can have an empty room where you've even sucked all of the air out of the room. The room contains nothing, but it is still a space. And they're saying, no, 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 it's not even space, it's nothing. And still you keep asking, yes, but what if I reached the nothing and then stepped on the gas? What happens? Is it like running into an invisible wall in a video game where you just stop, like there's a force field there? And usually they would say, whatever is out there, it's not anything that you can comprehend in your brain because you have no experience with those kind of physics. Nothing you have run into in your life on Earth interacting with these three dimensions have an equivalent out there. In other words, whatever is out there is literally, physically impossible for you to comprehend. And then do you remember, after hearing that for the first time, walking outside and looking up into the sky and realizing you are staring at the impossible, that the incomprehensible hangs over your head every day, that if you could somehow go out there to that outer edge, that what you observed would be indistinguishable from a hallucination or madness. Your brain is not built to see or understand it. And that was the universe you were born into.